All right, guys, back today with another training session. Today's going to be a lower body session. Not going to do the music this time to not run into any copyright issues with YouTube. But yeah, today's session, I'm going to go through another one of those prep circuits. Today's going to be more of a lower body day, so I'm going to go sit-ups, I'm going to do some active Copenhagen planks, and then some skater bounds, go through a couple rounds of that. Jumps today are going to be seated broad jump to a box. Okay, still just trying to minimize my my ground contact forces, just to try to let my foot and Achilles kind of heal up. It's been feeling really good this week. I was able to run actually the other day, and didn't wake up the next morning with any crazy tendon pain or anything like that. My foot's actually been feeling a lot better in the mornings. Achilles is feeling good in the mornings, feeling a lot less stiff and having less pain there. So I think I'm heading in the right direction with some of the stuff I've been doing there. After the jumps, gonna work to a top set of 4 barbell deadlift. After that, gonna do some curtsy reverse lunges from a deficit, and then finish off with some back extensions and some single leg calf raises. And then there's something else I think I wanted to throw in there too that I'm forgetting about, but should be a good training day. Take you guys through this with a little bit of commentary. All right, for these, just going to go 10 on each side. Ooh. Copenhagen planks are tough. Not easy. Oh. Yup. Oh. Pretty tough. Don't have much to say here about those. A lot of times I get pushback from athletes, clients, etc. when it comes to doing any kind of deadlift, really, from, do a lot of trap bar deadlifting here, a lot of RDLs. But no matter the variation, the deadlift does put stress on your trunk. So the muscles of the lower back during a deadlift are being trained. Maybe not directly like a back extension would, or like a Jefferson curl would, but the muscles of the lower back are still being trained when you're performing deadlifts, RDLs, stiff leg deadlifts, single leg RDLs, kickstand RDLs, deadlifts from the floor, trap bar, barbell, you name it. And a lot of people, their first time doing these exercises, they'll say the next day that they have some soreness through the muscles in their lower back. This is a normal thing. I think as long as you're not exceeding your capacity to load that area and just not using too much load too quickly, and building some solid repetitions with weights that are submaximal, over time, there's nothing wrong with deadlifts. There's nothing wrong with like having a little bit of muscular soreness in your lower back from doing deadlifts. I think that's a really big misconception, and it causes people to like they do it once, and then they're like, oh, it hurt the muscles in my back. Like I felt the muscles in my back, and then they never come back to it. And it's like you're just not going to build resiliency that way. Like if you want to have a strong lower back, you want to have a strong anything. You have to progressively load the area and create tolerance in the tissues that are being trained. So yeah, you might have some soreness in your lower back after you've done some deadlifts. It's going to be okay. We're just going to do some sit-ups here. But yeah, feeling an exercise like a hip hinge, again, whether it is an RDL or more of a deadlift pattern, isn't a bad thing. And almost always when I hear that, I tell the person like, hey, we need to lean into that. We need to try to continue to progress in our tolerance and in our strength overall in these movements, again, to create a more robust spine and a more just when I say robust, I just mean stronger. Like being able to pick something up off the floor, I think is important for humans in general, and obviously puts the hips and the spine through a really big range of motion, which has been proven to be great for muscular strength and hypertrophy, which again is going to help not only just your everyday life, but definitely help improve performance in sports. So yeah, just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to have a little bit of soreness in your lower back. It's okay. Again, I'm not talking about like shooting pain or anything like that, but the way to build a stronger lower back, a more resilient spine, is to consistently hinge, consistently make sure we're doing RDLs, deadlifts, squats, all of these kinds of big movements that elicit really powerful stimulus, and therefore create really good adaptations in the body. I'm going to do these in more deep tier fashion, so try to get a little bit more hip and knee bend. Not really necessarily looking to be super explosive here. It's more looking to get some hip and knee bend, a little deep tier action. Feel pretty good. All right, go through those one more time. And we're going to start the broad jumps. walk back does. It's good. Another thing, kind of wanted to talk about today, something that's been on my mind. I feel like there's a lot of debates in strength and conditioning on like different methods and exercises and their usefulness. I'll be honest, it's not really a conversation that I care to argue with people about. I kind of see everybody's point of view in regarding some of these different things. The only thing I want to say is like the kids, the athletes, I should say, the adult clients that I have that are the most consistent and give the best effort in their training sessions over, like, again, weeks, months, years, meaning like not going for weeks or months without training, or having some sort of training stimulus through strength training, sprinting, jumping, whatever, like I said, jumping, plyometrics. The people conditioning, the people that are most consistent with that stuff always get the best results. And I guess like my point in saying all this is like there's so many different methods and so many different exercises and so many different things that people can do from a training perspective. And there's even people that have huge followings on the internet that I would call their training like very gimmicky, and like all the strength coaches and trainers that watch this know the kind of people I'm talking about. But like even their shit gets like guys some sort of result, like gets them a little bit stronger, helps them build some muscle if they're consistent. If the person that they're working with is consistent. I think that messaging needs to be pushed way more, the consistency message, because I'll tell you right now, I got kids that I have that are athletes of mine that come in here and that are super consistent and, you know, are making marginal gains from a strength perspective, from a jump perspective, from an elasticity perspective, just watching them in their warm-up, like bounce off the ground more effectively, even, sprint times improving, jumps improving, like I said, weight room numbers improving. And it's all the kids that are consistent. And then I have some kids and some adults, even that I've worked with in the past, that maybe come once or twice a month, and then like they come back into a session and they wonder why like they can't squat the same weight where they left off, or trap bar deadlift or deadlift the same weight that they left off, or they notice that they see a big decrease in their sprint performance or their jump performance on the jump mat. And it's like, it's common sense. Like what you do consistently, your body adapts to, especially when you're giving high levels of effort and you come in and you have a good attitude, and you're maybe at least doing some of the right things outside of here, as far as like just honestly I think for high school kids, it's just like eating enough food is like the biggest one. I think sleep is important too. Everybody talks about that. That's not something I need to sit here and I think beat a dead horse about. Like it's important to get 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep. I would say probably on the 7 to 8 hour range is probably better for most high school athletes. But like honestly, if like kids get in here and like give effort in the weight room and eat enough calories, they see tremendous progress. And then for adults like that, potentially have weight loss goals or whatever, like if you eat in a controlled calorie way, and also like up your activity. I'm not huge on like slashing adults' calories super low, because we're in a very hyper caloric food environment in general. There's just food everywhere, and so I try to get adults like to think more. We probably are going to have to reduce calories a bit through nutrition, but like try to encourage them to be more active. Shoot for some higher step counts, higher step goals. If you're only getting 2,000, like let's bump that to 5, and then eventually get to maybe close to 8 or 12,000 steps, between 8 and 12,000 steps a day. I think that's a pretty good goal for like most average people. And then lifting weights 2 or 3 times a week. But it's all about consistency and effort. And I think that messaging needs to be pushed more in our space because everything fucking works. Now, I also think just because everything can work doesn't mean that there's methods and exercises and stuff that I don't think are stupid, because that's just it's not true. Yeah, I think just the messaging, especially to newer trainees, whether it be like high school athletes or adults that haven't worked out in 15, 20, 30, 40 years. I think the messaging needs to be like consistent effort, especially if you want like a result. If you want to build muscle, be toned, look a certain way. If you're a high school athlete, if you want to improve your sports performance, like the messaging needs to be like effort. The messaging needs to be getting in here 2, 3, 4 times a week, making sure you're doing, like putting effort into things outside of training. Like, if it's 3:30 or 4:45 in the afternoon and you come in for a session and you haven't eaten a meal, or like you've only eaten one meal and you're a high school athlete, it's like you're not maybe putting in any effort outside of, the training. And that's a whole other thing too with like parents and like, I think parents trying to be a little bit more willing to like educate themselves, and also just like parents being willing to like train themselves and like be the person that is setting the standard for, your kids on not even like improving performance, just like being a well-functioning, high-functioning human being. And I think training has a big role in that, a much bigger role than like what our society I think maybe says that it does, as far as like the grand scheme of things. Because like obviously like we're from a statistical perspective, we're not a very healthy nation. So yeah, set the standard, be consistent, give really good effort, and don't take freaking months and weeks and months off of training. Get your ass in here and get after it. All right, this is my 3rd week in a row barbell deadlifting. I haven't barbell deadlifted in quite some time. Yeah, I want to build this back up. I think when I remember back when I was doing barbell deadlifts more consistently, I feel like my back felt stronger. Honestly, felt like everything in my hips and everything felt more mobile, more strong. So not trying to go too quickly with my weight progressions. Just working to a top set of 4. Did a top set of 5 last week with 315. Used to be used to be fairly light for me on straight bar deadlifts. So got 335 on the bar. Gonna hit this for a set of 4. feels so much harder than it used to. Wow. Just working more range of motion on these. So we're going deficit, curtsy, reverse lunge. Yeah, feels good on the hips. I could probably take a little bit longer rest between sides and go a little heavier, but I'm liking the challenge of going right into the other leg. I'm going to take a couple minutes rest and do one more of those. All right, guys. I'm going to do some banded back extensions here, and then I'm going to do some standing calf raises. I'm not going to bore you guys with the standing calf raises. I'll film this set, and that'll be it for the video today. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Appreciate you guys being here. If you like these videos that I'm doing, please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll be, again, trying to aim for 2 of these a week. And yeah, just let me know what you guys want to see more of. If you have questions, you can leave them in the comment section. Obviously, you can shoot me a message on Instagram, and I can respond that way. I'll probably start asking maybe to field some questions for these videos, so I'm not just like ranting on random things that are things I've been thinking about. But yeah, really appreciate you guys being here. See you next time.